Thank you, Chairwoman Maloney, for convening today's hearing. Now, while the gun industry rakes in hundreds of millions of dollars, choosing profit over people, selling weapons of war to anyone who wants them, impacting communities across the country who are forced to deal with the consequences of their greed. Bloodshed, pain, the trauma of a loved one being seriously injured or killed due to gun violence. Certainly communities disproportionately impacted Black, Brown, AAPI, the LGBTQ community, from Buffalo to Orlando to El Paso and Atlanta. This, of course, is both a devastating and expected result when companies employ marketing tactics that spread white supremacy and embolden far-right extremist groups. For example, shortly after the 2017 white supremacist march and attack in Charlottesville, Virginia, the National Shooting Sports Foundation promoted an advertisement encouraging people to buy assault weapons to use against unnamed protesters, unarmed protesters. Mr. Boussy, you referenced this advertisement in your remarks. Can you please explain why advertisements like these are dangerous?
Thank you for the question. And to clarify, that is not a National Shooting Sports Foundation ad. That is an advertisement from an AR-15 company that was displayed at the National Shooting Sports Foundation SHOT Show in 2018. That is an ad, in my opinion, that is encouraging and celebrating the idea that civil unrest and attacking protesters is a potential business model of profit for firearms companies, and I believe that to be a very distressing and irresponsible path of advertising.
Thank you, and although the slide has moved, if we could bring it back for a moment. It's hard to see, but they also named Boston, a city that I represent, right in the upper left-hand corner there. Recently, my community has experienced firsthand the far-right white supremacist organization Patriot Front in action. They have held multiple demonstrations of intimidation and fear in Boston to spread their racist bigotry and attack folks on the street. Let me be clear, as Congresswoman for the Massachusetts 7th, I am going to do everything in my power to keep my constituents safe and stand up against white supremacy whenever and wherever it shows up. This should also be a baseline commitment of the NSSF, but instead the organization promoted this malicious advertisement. Mr. Daniel, as a board member of NSSF, will you use your position to stop them from allowing ads like this one, naming Boston and promoting assault weapons, yes or no? Mr. Daniel?
Ma'am, this was not an NSSF ad.
Will you use your position as a board member in any way to stop these sort of advertisements promoting assault weapons, yes or no then?
I don't understand the question.
Okay, that's okay. Mr. Kalloy, same question to you since you are also on the board. Will you commit to ending the practice of allowing harmful ads like this at events, yes or no?
Congresswoman, respectfully, the NSSF does not advertise firearms for any of its member companies. They host a trade show annually in January, and that's where I believe that ad was seen by a company who may have been displaying there.
I'll reclaim my time because I think the point still remains. As long as gun manufacturers have immunity to sell their weapons of war using harmful marketing tactics, Black and brown communities will continue to be targeted, and that has got to change. In the face of white supremacy, my neighbors and I are undeterred in the pursuit of healing and the true justice, and we will not let gun makers incite violence against us with impunity. And I yield back.